And I mentioned this last hour, but let me go ahead and get into this first right now and actually break this down in detail. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. That is the proverbial freight train coming at you. Unless we arrest these bankers, unless we audit these bankers, unless we abolish these bankers. This is a fraudulent offshore crime syndicate that is engaged in a hijacking, a corporate takeover of our nation. Federal Reserve to be given sweeping new powers. Steve Watson article. The privately owned and run Federal Reserve is to be handed sweeping new powers under Obama administration proposals in a deal that will please bankers who lobbied for more Fed oversight of their activities. So this is the private banks, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and others that are Federal Reserve shareholders, saying, give our government front, the holding company, more power for us. It's a complete sleight of hand. I mean, it's so simple, but then almost so complex because the public just can't understand that. It's like, give me more power to regulate myself, which means give me more power to do whatever I want. The new rules will see the Fed given the authority to regulate any company whose activity it believes could threaten the economy and the markets. You've already seen them seize Chrysler and hand it over to foreign corporations with taxpayer money on top as a sweetener. You've already seen them seize GM and hack it up in a bunch of pieces. And then now it's a political tool domestically where you've got to give campaign money to Obama or Democratic congressmen for your dealership that's worth tens of millions in some cases to stay open. Or they steal it and give it to their friends. I mean, this is being admitted mainstream news. This is wall-to-wall mafia. And folks, why shouldn't they? The public is on Prozac and on Ritalin and on fluoride and sucking their thumbs. They want more raping, they're going to get it. The final plan, due to be released on Wednesday, is today, which originally aimed to streamline and consolidate banking and securities regulation in one or two agencies, now is expected to sidestep most judicial disputes and simply impose across-the-board standards to be applied by all financial regulators, according to administration industry sources, reports the Washington Times. Now, let me stop right there. See, first with the October 3rd banker takeover bill, known as the banker bailout, it said unlimited money, you can make out of nothing, we got to pay it to you in taxes, we then have to pay interest on money we give you. Taxpayer gives them the trillions, and then we pay interest on them to the money we gave them. See, they can do anything they want, so wouldn't you come up with that scam? I take all your money, and then you pay me interest on it. Yes. That'd be like if somebody came and knocked on your door. Hey, Mr. Jones, I'd like to have you give me your $250,000 house. Okay. And then when you give me your house, you're going to pay me interest on the house, and generally interest is double what the note is, so you're going to pay me another $250,000 for me taking your house for free. Now, that makes no sense. It doesn't compute, does it? Well, that's how this works. That's how the New World Order rolls. And if you don't like it, Northcom and paramilitary police are standing by. And, folks, they don't know which end is up, just like the general public. All they know is they've been told they're on a power trip, go out there and taser the slaves and squeeze money out of them. All they've been told is the public are a bunch of terrorists, they're going to start protesting, and all protest is terrorism. Official Pentagon. Are you starting to figure this out? So they got that unlimited power to rape, rob, and steal. No oversight, no government agency. No one can look into them. Congress passed a law saying that. Now they're about to try to get another law passed where they run everything outside of banking. And they're saying your farm, your ranch, work brigades, all the executive orders that we read on air where they can put you in work brigades. Folks, I got the Washington Times coming up in the next segment where they admit they're hiring criminals for the youth brigades. I mean, we already knew this, but it's red level. Let me just get, for folks that don't know history, when the government starts hiring citizen armies, domestically, the police people, look out. That's bad. But when they start putting them in uniforms, look out. And then when they start hiring crooks, boy, you know you're in deep trouble. And they're going to march them out there to boss everybody around, and people are going to bust a cap in their butts, unfortunately, and then they're going to call you terrorist, and then the war's on. And they're going to have millions out of work, dumbasses, and I'm sorry to use that term, but that's what they are, that they're going to turn loose on you with machine guns, and it ain't going to be pretty. Because these people are going to be on power trips, they're going to be led by... Have you noticed every major police department is doubling, tripling, quadrupling, or more their SWAT teams? They're training to wage war on us, up one side and down the other. I'm going to tell the police again, the country's been hijacked by offshore criminal corporations. This is all criminal on its face. You're being maneuvered into war with the American people. You're working for criminals. I'm not even saying you're bad. You don't know what you're part of, but now you've been warned. You understand this is the real deal. You're the same as Pinkerton security men in Colorado sent in to murder whole families living on land that they had legitimate claim to. You're just like the strike breakers in 1920s machine gunning people in New York. You are criminals, and you will be known as that in history. Come to the aid of the Republic now. Join us. What do you think about the bankers becoming open gods? Above Congress, above the law, ruling every aspect of our lives. The Associated Press and Washington Times both reporting with a straight face. You've got to give control to them over every aspect of your life, or they won't turn the liquidity back onto the economy. But it comes out after $14.8 trillion stolen, just in the U.S. alone. They're doing it worldwide. Less money's flowing, less loans, higher interest rates, exactly as we told you. That's just money so they can hold out and wait to buy up everything. But now, if you won't sell GM, they just come take it. If you won't sell Chrysler, they just order Chrysler to hand it over. And those CEOs are globalists. They roll over. Rex Tillerson at ExxonMobil wouldn't call for a global carbon tax. David Rockefeller went to the shareholder meeting and said, I own this company. You come out and say it's real or you're fired. And Rex Tillerson the next day said, I want a global tax. New York Times. It's real. Terraform the planet. Chemtrail us. They told Rupert Murdoch to come out and say it was real. The Wall Street Journal says the Earth's heating up. You better pay a tax to Al Gore or you're going to die. The Pentagon specializes in taking over countries. It works for the Bank of England, the owner of the Federal Reserve. On record. Thomas Barnett, Naval War College experts, goes on TV, on C-SPAN, and brags they work for Wall Street. The Pentagon, the military, the Marine Corps. It isn't our military. It isn't our government. Is that an indictment of everybody in it? No. But the facts are the facts. It is an illegitimate, hijacked, criminal government, period. Circling the people with police departments being taken over by the feds and the military. The police being hyped up and told to go after the public. That's why they're doing this. So the public starts hating the police. So the police start hating the public. So the battle lines are drawn. So the globalists can carry out their looting. The Pentagon and the CIA have done this to hundreds of third world countries, some countries over and over again. This is their speciality. This is their MO. This is what they do. But they're taking special care bringing the U.S. down. They've taken their time. They've put in the grids. They've built the prisons. They've built the FEMA camps. They've brainwashed the public. They've turned the people against each other. The new talking point must be to tattle on your neighbor. I was flipping through talk radio this morning, and on half the channels it was spy and tattle on your neighbor for this reason, for that reason, public service announcements, CIA ads, recruiting domestic CIA ops. I mean, they're converting the whole economy into a giant gulag owned by the private interest. And then they're going to feed everything through that, and all the yuppies and scum are going to grovel and join the tyranny thinking that's the new business. The ski mask enforcers, the prisons, the surveillance is one half the equation. The other half is the green revolution, the land grabbing. And what's that backed up with, the New York Times reports today? Criminals. I'm going to read it in the next segment. Criminals. The little bastards coming to your door, coming to your ranch, your farm, are going to be criminals. And you're going to let them in under the Animal ID and Premises ID, and they're going to inspect and boss you and do whatever they want. And if you don't, coming right over the hill are going to be armed police. Hell, they're even arming these Secure Corps people. Imagine low-grade, paint chip-eating, fluoride-head morons who couldn't have a job at McDonald's, who are criminals. they're going to be sitting there having their way with you. And your daughter's going to bring them home in their little uniforms and make you kiss up to them, and you'll be scared to tell your daughter you don't want them dating them. I'm telling you, you want bondage, you're going to get it. And the globalists can set up their white slave trading to an even greater level here in the U.S., and nobody will be able to stop them. They're only scared that as they do this, you'll start fighting back. And we will fight back, and we will beat you. You think you're going to carry out a Pol Pot, a Mao Zedong, a Lenin, a Stalin, a Hitler? No, we're not going to put up with it. We know you're criminals. We're going to call you out, period. This is real radio. This is real issues. This is what's going on. I'll finish up with the Federal Reserve, get into all the youth brigades openly being announced. Right here on the GCN Radio Network, Infowars.com, and PrisonPlanet.tv. The websites. Transmission continues. Stay with us.